Good morning and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Monday, everybody. I know everybody, as they roll out the bed on this Monday, there's probably some rumbles and grumbles, and especially with the way the Saints played yesterday, there's probably a few extra rumbles and grumbles, but that's okay. It's a new week, and with it comes new rain chances, some storm potential, a cold front, and Gabrielle's now a hurricane. So from where I left you yesterday, some things have changed clearly. This morning's forecast made possible by ServPro, Monroe, West Monroe. Water or fire damage, mold, storm repair, call or click servpro.com today. A look at the radar, and most of the overnight activity has stayed well north or west of our region. We've had some storms festering just to the north of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro, and then we've had some storms festering from Little Rock back to the west-northwest over portions of the I-40 corridor stretching from near Fort Smith to Russellville to Morrilton and over toward Conway, most of that well outside of our area, but it has prompted a few flash flood warnings. So if you are traveling in those areas, be aware of that. But in our region, most of our storms wrapped up relatively early yesterday. A check of the satellite radar composite, and it shows the surface map as well. It doesn't really have a whole lot of positive stuff to advertise for us, but we do have a cold front coming. It's going to arrive here early Wednesday morning, it would appear, and it brings us our first legitimate rain chances in a while. Upper 60s to low 70s, 72 in Camden, 71 Monroe, 70 in El Dorado, Bastrop, Monticello, 68 in Lake Providence, 69 in Greenville. Karen, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully you're having a great start to the week. Check rainfall totals from yesterday. A lot of what we saw was quite spotty. The El Dorado Airport officially picking up nothing, but radar estimates that there in town, El Dorado picked up some rain, and some of that could have been quite heavy in a short period of time. A few hundredths of an inch of rain in the southern parishes. Most of our storms were relatively transient, just kind of wandered in, but it did bring some rain to the south and western counties and parishes, and through northern Louisiana into far southern Arkansas as well. Didn't really need severe thunderstorm warnings for the activity that we had yesterday, but some of them did pack some stronger winds and things of that nature. Susan, good morning. Thanks so much for hopping in this morning. And again, we've got some changes in store. Look at Futurecast. It's more of the isolated stuff today. I've kept the rain chances generally at around 20% for the day. I really just, I don't feel more comfortable than going much higher than that. But that is a tweak from where we were yesterday. So there is that, because we had them at 10% yesterday, but for today, but we've bumped those back up. And then as we go through the day on Tuesday, kind of the same general story. A stray shower or storm can't be ruled out. And I would think the late night rain chances Tuesday night into Wednesday. Debbie, Ricky, Kimberly, good morning. Thanks so much for hopping in. I think the rain chances late Tuesday going into Wednesday will be on the increase. And that's as the cold front in this area of low pressure starts to swing into the region. And you can see the Futurecast is showing some fairly menacing thunderstorms arriving in the area early Wednesday morning. Timing's still a little suspect, but it does look to bring us our next legitimate shot at showers and storms, and maybe even its own attendant severe weather threat. Liz asks, do you think we're done with the 90-plus degree temperatures? At this point, I can't say it with a high degree of certainty, especially with the cold front that's coming in. It does bring some cooler temperatures, but I don't know if we're necessarily done with the 90s per se just yet. Beverly, May, and Ricky, good morning. Thanks so much. Thanks for hopping in this morning. So we put the Futurecast into motion, and you can see radar-wise what we're dealing with by sunrise or shortly thereafter on Wednesday. It could be a soggy start for a lot of folks on Wednesday morning, as we expect the storms to just kind of drag southward into the region through the course of the day. And that brings some much-needed rainfall, maybe some slower soaking rainfall that could help benefit the area, because there are some spots that are quite dry. And again, a reminder, Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road, Monroe. Hunting season is right around the corner, so if you need them, give them a call. Look at the severe weather threat, and I know I'm throwing our business partners out there fast and furious, but they're all making this possible, and we have to use a lot of them today. Our severe weather threats are made possible by Allegiance Health Network, providing high-quality, patient-centered care through a clinically integrated network of healthcare professionals. And it shows the severe weather threat as we get into the day tomorrow. Now, I know that you're going, tomorrow, wait a minute, what in the world's going on? Remember, these outlooks go from about 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. They're a 24-hour stretch. So for those that are thinking that we're going to see severe weather tomorrow, it would likely be late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning that this severe weather threat would kind of check out. And it includes a marginal risk level 1 for much of our area. Yes, you see the slight risk includes the northern slivers of Ouachita and Calhoun counties in southern Arkansas. Main concerns, winds and hail. Again, at this point, an isolated tornado can't be completely ruled out, especially over the slight risk area. But in our area, it looks to be more winds and hail. Holy moly, a bunch of people hopped on and said good morning, and I want to make sure I get to everybody. Yes, the Chiefs, American Scarby, the Chiefs got the big win today. It's funny, or yesterday, it's funny that I was actually a Chiefs fan growing up. I don't really claim them anymore. That's simply because I don't want to sound like a bandwagon fan. Is sweater weather on the horizon? Swartz weather. Shonda asks, is sweater weather on the horizon? Hopefully, at least during the mornings. Beverly asks, who's ready for cooler temperatures? Me, Janet, Karen, good morning. Karen asks about the app. I'll get to that in just a smidge. The severe weather threat for Wednesday. So we talked about how the Tuesday threat starts in 1 and then moves into the southeastern sections for the rest of the day on Wednesday. It's a marginal risk, level 1, but again, something that we'll watch as we head toward the middle parts of this week. Again, wind and hail would be the primary concerns. Check of forecast rainfall totals over the next 3 days, primarily focused on Wednesday. And you can see that the rain totals from where we were yesterday have kind of come back down a little bit. Not quite as aggressive as we were yesterday. We were seeing 1.5 to 2 inch totals plastered on the map. Again, this is a 3-day rain total map, but kind of gives you a general idea of some of the stuff that we could run into as we go into the day on Wednesday. And that also paves the way to what we call the excessive rain outlook, and it also puts us under a marginal risk. 4 categories in this regard. But again, some periods of heavy rainfall could lead to some headaches here and there as we go into Wednesday morning. Quick check of Hurricane Gabrielle, now a hurricane, obviously. Maximum sustained winds at 90 miles per hour. As it now moves generally northward at about 10 miles per hour. Your tropical forecast made possible by Russell Moore Lumber. Their pine is fine, and they are the deal on steel, and they have a lot of rhymes. Go check them out, Desert Street, Monroe. And you can see the forecast cone carries us off to the east, and Gabrielle's going to pick up some pace as it moves from the east of Bermuda back out over the northern Atlantic and quickly into the North Atlantic, perhaps even becoming a major hurricane for a brief period of time. A check of the satellite, and you can see that Gabrielle's got a little bit of an eye this morning out over the central Atlantic, but also I just wanted to take a quick look at some of the tomfoolery behind it. There's 2 waves lining up behind it that also have the potential for tropical development. So over the next 7 days, now we have a medium and high percentage chance of development over the next week in the western Atlantic, and you can see that both of those areas are generally much closer to the United States. So not necessarily saying the Gulf Coast region, but at least the east coast of the United States will be looking at potential for tropical development as we get a little bit later on into the week. So that's something that we'll watch as well. Becky, Beverly, Joy, Janet, Susie, all good morning. Thank you so much for joining the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. All right, let's get to look at the forecast as we go through the rest of today. Low to mid-90s. I wouldn't be surprised to see some 94s and 95s across the region. Again, rain chances are spotty, up to about 20%, which is better than where we had them. We had them at 10%. Lows tonight, generally back in the low into the 70s. A lingering spotty storm can't be ruled out, but the clouds will hang around. The 7-day forecast powered by 3B Outdoor Equipment, the exclusive outdoor power equipment company of the Digital Weather Desk, and you can see some rain chances. Hot dog, 20% Monday, Tuesday, but up to 70% for Wednesday, and we bumped the rain chances for Thursday as well, as I at least think the southern half of our area will see some lingering showers. Temperatures take a dip, but the sunshine is back in this weekend, so if you have weekend plans, high school, college football, or you just want to get outside, I think the conditions will be ripe for that, with highs back in the mid to upper 80s, overnight lows in the mid 60s. And again, for those that are wanting to know if we're done with the 90s yet, I cannot say that with any kind of certainty. But we're on the downward trend. which is a little bit of good news as we wrap up or we head into the last full week of the month of September. A reminder, the Digital Weather Desk is made possible 100% free of charge to you by the local businesses that you see there on your screen. And how do you play a role in all this? It is quite simple. Just do what you're doing right now. Like, comment, share, drop in, say hello. Follow us on all your favorite social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. And support our local business partners when you can. The update that I had promised on the app should be receiving a generally like a beta version or a test version of that app today or tomorrow. That's for me, not for you. For me to kind of go through it, make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to work and all that stuff. And then after that, once it's complete, and I kind of sign off on it and say, yep, looks good to me, then it gets submitted to Apple and Google for submission into their stores. That can take anywhere from a couple of days to a week. But we're getting there. We're getting there really soon. Still hoping maybe right around the 1st of October or somewhere in that ballpark. Again, don't have firm dates. Don't like throwing firm dates out there because I don't want you guys thinking that I'm lying to you or not being transparent. And I want to try to be as honest and transparent as possible. It has moved a little slower than we all would hope, but there were also some tweaks on my end that had to be made at the last minute. So part of that is on me. Wanted to make sure that all that was taken care of before we send it out to you folks. Bobby, Reba, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. And I hope everybody kind of got what they needed from the forecast today. Quick note before we split on this September 22nd. If you see the missus out and about today, please wish her a happy anniversary. Today we have been married for 7 years. Or as like she likes to say, 6 years of wedded bliss, 7 years total. She doesn't say that. It's just a joke. But no, very honored and privileged to call her my wife. And again, none of this would be possible without her. So happy anniversary. She's in the next room over, and she's probably going to roll her eyes when I walk in there. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody. I will have your Too Long Didn't Read a little bit later this morning. We'll have a look at the midday forecast, and we'll check any kind of tweaks and twists and turns with the Wednesday forecast. But we've actually got stuff to talk about this week, so that's something. Thanks so much for joining the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'll catch you in a couple of hours, but it's time to walk the kiddo to school, and we'll catch you in just a little